Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Codeman Movies. Life update, I do not have a job still. I'm still looking. I think I'm really close with the one job. I've had my background test, my drug test. So I think I'm going to be getting this one job. Updates hopefully by the next video. Lots of movies to talk about, guys, so I'm just going to get straight into things because I really have nothing else to talk about. Drink of choice today, guys. I am drinking the 2-Bit Brewing Project beer. It is a lager with water, hops, barley, and yeast. Kind of tastes like a Mick Golden or something. Not my favorite of theirs, but you know what? It's a beer. It's delicious, and I just need to talk about movies. So you know what? Who cares? Let's just get into talking about movies, guys, because I have a lot to talk about, and I want to get through these all if I can. First movie, guys, I went to the theater and saw Banshees of Sharon. I had never seen this in the theater. I had only seen this at home on HBO Max, so I really wanted to watch it. It's an Oscar watch, nominated for a whole bunch of awards. So yeah, I wanted to go see it in the theater again. Glad I really got this opportunity to see it in theaters again, and I think I might even get another chance to see it again in the theater, so yeah, I would love to do that. If you don't know the premise of this movie, basically there are two friends, Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell's characters. And one day, Brendan Gleeson just says, I don't want to be your friend anymore, essentially. Things go from there. It's a little bit more passive-aggressive in that. He just completely starts ignoring the guy. But yeah, basically, it's a movie about friends not being friends anymore. And I absolutely love this movie, guys. It was in my top 10 of last year. Such fantastic performances from everyone in this movie, even someone like a side character, like a bartender. Just hilarious. Fantastic performance in this movie. This movie, in a sense, kind of reminds me of myself. I feel very much with Colin Farrell's character. I would consider myself a very nice person, and throughout the movie, everyone just calls Colin Farrell's character nice, and he calls himself nice. And Brendan Gleeson calls him dull. And I wonder if I'm dull. I feel like I'm not. But maybe at times I can be dull. I don't know. This movie just makes me think of myself a little bit. And I love that. It's just, I love their relationship. I absolutely love their chemistry, their performance in this movie. Jenny the donkey, guys. There's a donkey in this movie. Colin Farrell's donkey, Jenny. She even gives a great performance. She's a donkey. She's incredible. I love Jenny the donkey. Guys, I want a donkey for a pet. In a teeny tiny apartment. It's not going to happen, but I want one. I love the humor in this movie as well. There's so much like dark humor and then just so much real humor. There's some moments in the bar, like I said, with the bartender that are just hilarious. The theater I was in wasn't super crowded, but there was maybe 10 people in there, and we were all just laughing. And that's why I love going to the theater for this kind of movie. I did laugh at home when I watched this, but I didn't laugh the way I did with a crowd. And it's how they say that laughter's infectious, and it's just more funny with people in a room that is on a big screen. It just is. It just really is. It's so much better. Somebody's backing up. Anyways, guys, I love how much I feel for each of these characters as well. As I said, I kind of feel more towards Colin Farrell's character. And I love how much I'm like kind of on both of their sides in a sense. Colin Farrell's the main character, so he's the one you're really feeling for, I feel like, throughout the movie. And you really do feel for him. Brendan Gleeson just really is kind of passive-aggressive at first. He just completely ignores him and doesn't even say anything for a hot second. And then he does say something, and it's not a lot. It's just, I don't want to be around you anymore. Leave me alone. We're not friends. And then you also feel for Brendan Gleeson's character, because after he does, because telling someone you don't want to be their friend anymore, or even just breaking up with somebody, that's not always the easiest thing in the world. That's something you prepare for. That's something you're constantly going through all the ways it could happen. And so you feel for Brendan Gleeson. He's being a coward a little bit at first, I would say, just being passive-aggressive and ignoring him. But eventually he does say, you know, I want to move on with my life. This relationship is just going, our friendship's going nowhere anymore, and I just want it to be done. And then after that, Colin Farrell's just like constantly trying to, bug him, trying to and that's the other thing. Brendan Gleeson doesn't give enough. He just says, I don't want to be around you anymore. You're kind of dull. That's it. Like, so I feel for both characters. I don't even know how to explain this anymore, but I just love how you feel for both characters. Both characters have reasons to be hurt and angry. Both characters are not handling things appropriately. And I just love that. You're going back and forth on who is more of a butthead. Brendan Gleeson is so good in this movie as well. I talked a lot about Colin. Brendan Gleeson's just great in this movie. I don't even know how to. He comes off almost as this grumpy grouch, but then everyone kind of loves him. He's just so well loved, and you understand that too. Just great. I love him. I love him so much. Barry Keoghan in this movie is really great. I think his character's supposed to have some kind of mental issue or something. It's never really addressed, but he does a great job with the performance. Carrie Condon plays Colin Farrell's sister. She does a great job as well. And just all the technical stuff in this movie as well. The cinematography is incredible in this movie. I forget who did the cinematography for this one, and I hate myself for that. Really interesting characters. The writing is fantastic. The sound mixing in this movie is great. There's scenes where you hear, is it World War One? I forget. Is it Civil War? I forget. There's a war going on. And you just hear it off in the background and kind of see it in the distance. And it's just so beautiful the way they mix the sound in with it being so far away and all that. It's just great. It sounds great. And this movie gets very absurd and very over the top almost in a sense, but it works. And it is such a great movie, guys. If you have not seen The Banshees of Inisherin, I highly recommend it. I forget what my negatives are for this one, really. The movie does feel a tad bit long, I'll say that. And it does get crazy. And at points, it almost makes you fall out of it a little bit, I guess. I think the last time I talked about this movie, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10 now, guys. My opinions have changed on this one. I love this movie so much. It's one of the best movies of last year. It really was. And that's why it was in my top 10. Next up, guys, I watched a documentary. I don't watch a lot of these. I got Apple TV Plus for a month free, so I decided, why not turn this on? I'm not really a Selena Gomez fan, but I didn't know really anything in this documentary about anything. But it's hard not to be conscious of the fact that she was going through something. She went through rehab or something. She had issues, addiction, something. I knew that. I did not know what it all entailed. So this documentary kind of takes place, I think it started in like 2018 or 2019, something like that. And it goes through a few years of her life, and it speaks specifically with her mental health. Selena was going through a lot of mental problems. She was, like at the beginning of the movie, it was kind of amazing. She was just practicing for her tour that she was doing. And she gets off stage and she is just hysterical. She is bawling her eyes out. She says, "I'm so sorry to everyone. I did so bad today. Everything was terrible." And they're all like, what are you talking about? It was great. And she's like, "No, it was all bad. It was horrible. Just the most awful, horrible thing ever. I sounded bad. It looks bad. Everything's just bad. I hate it." And like, everything looks great in our book. And like, it's very interesting to see what she was going through. And immediately it was something I have related to. I am someone that feels like I do a lot. Even if I do something amazing and everyone compliments me on it, I still feel like it looks bad. It sounds bad, whatever the case may be. I did it all the time with Back 40. I would make up a new drink, right? And I would just be like, it's gross, it's bad. And then someone would have 4 of them be like, "Cody, this is delicious. You're killing me, man. I'm already $30 out, And I would just always think it's bad. And so this documentary immediately just kind of connected with me a little bit. It also goes over a lot about fame, essentially, and how it can be a really big negative. We all think, oh, how great would it be to be famous, but we don't think of the paparazzi. We don't think of the tabloids. We don't think of these news stories that are completely inaccurate. And this goes over that a little bit, which was a really interesting thing to see as well. And it really showed what this did to Selena mentally as well, just seeing these things and what it did to her mental health. And again, like I said, I had no clue about any of this, really. There was it her liver or her kidney or something like that? She had to get a kidney or something from her friend. I had no clue about that. Just so many things I didn't know about. This documentary does feel very real at times. Like the moment I just talked about where Selena just thinking that she did so terrible. And then there's other moments that almost feel a little more staged and almost like written. There's more of the non-written, very real moments than there are the written feeling moments. I don't know if that's actually true or not, if it actually was written. It just felt a little written at times, I would say that. It's also a little all over the place in a sense. It feels like it's kind of going through, everything feels very rushed. I almost feel like this maybe should have been like a 5-part series or something like that. Like I said, I think it started like 2018 and 2019, so it goes over 5 years really quick. And like it mentions the pandemic, and it mentions it for about 3 minutes. Like it doesn't actually say like how Selena was doing during this time. You know, in 2018, 2019, she was struggling with this mental stuff, got out of like the clinic and stuff. How did she handle that situation then? I know for like me, COVID was actually a really great thing that happened for me in a sense. I stopped working. Someone who has workaholic issues, constantly needs to be working, it was a positive thing for me. I learned to relax a little bit more. I learned who my true friends were. I learned a lot during that time. And so I would have liked to have seen that in this documentary. And it just kind of it blows right through it. So yeah, guys, this is a really interesting, it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. It's a movie, I guess you could say, but it's a documentary movie. It was really interesting, actually. I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. It's nothing spectacular by any means. I think it leaves a lot out, but it also does show a lot of moments that feel very truthful and realistic, and I enjoyed it. I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. It is enjoyable. I do recommend this, actually. I absolutely do recommend watching this. I have to make sure that we're actually filming. Looks like we still are. My phone's so stupid sometimes that, yeah. So yeah, guys, that is Selena Gomez, Me and My Mind, the documentary. And my computer also was nothing spectacular. Come on, computer. Come on, buddy. Come on, Mac. Mac. Come on. Thank you. Jesus. Good God Almighty. Tar, everybody. This is a movie I had been wanting to see, but also felt like I wouldn't enjoy, so I wasn't super excited about seeing it. However, it got nominated, so I had to go see it. And again, I was fortunate enough to be able to see it in a theater. It is on Peacock now, I believe. I didn't want to watch it at home. A 3-hour movie like this, it needs to be seen in a theater, in my opinion, so that I focus and pay attention to it. I was kind of right about this movie, guys. I understand why everyone likes this movie. I understand why it's got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever it's at. It's got like a 91 on Metacritic. I understand why everyone's loving this movie. I don't love this movie. I really don't. I'm going to start by saying that. The movie is about a composer, and she is essentially the top of the world. She has won Oscars. She has, well, she actually has an EGOT. She's one of the only few people in the world that have gotten an EGOT. She's just at the top of the world, and she is doing this symphony, and I can't remember what the symphony is called or whatever. She's composing an orchestra in Germany, I think, or something like that. And it's a big, big deal. That's really all you need to know. The movie literally opens with an interview and just this guy listing off all her accomplishments, like 5 minutes worth of accomplishments. And that's just kind of the movie, or the beginning of the movie. Like, it's just all these things. She's really accomplished. the woman, her name's Lydia Tarr. Uh, she's a bitch. Just within 15, 20 minutes, I went, I don't like you. I think you are a snobby person that I just don't like. And I really struggle to get over that. If you've watched any of my videos, any of these videos before, you know that I struggle sometimes with movies with arrogant, awful human beings. I struggle so hard to relate and want to follow them, want to cheer for them, want to root for them. And that was the case in this movie. I just could not get every scene. She would do something just so just the way she treated people, the way she looked at people, just I didn't like her. And that immediately was a big struggle with this movie. I will say this, technically this movie is fantastic. It is so beautifully shot. The editing, there's anything with music in a movie needs to have good sound editing, sound mixing. This movie has it. It is, especially in the theater with the surround sound, you just felt the orchestra all around you, and it was great. Lots of shots of cars. Guys, this movie's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. You could take out like 20 minutes of this movie by taking out scenes of cars driving. There are so many shots of cars driving through a tunnel, driving on a road. It was too much car driving in this movie. There's also a lot of like imagery, things that like we see Lydia like dreaming about and experiencing, that we get it. We don't need to see 5 dreams of her going through this similar kind of thing. A lot of metaphors and stuff like that. Again, if you're someone that kind of likes that kind of stuff, great. You're going to love this movie, and I'm glad that you love this movie. Personally, for me, I just was like, it's so pretentious. And I understand if, again, I'm not saying you're pretentious if you love this movie, but for me, it was just so pretentious, I could not watch it anymore. I was struggling to continue to watch it. And it has this message at the end of the day with cancel culture. And I just feel like it constantly beats you over the head with it. And I got it. Like, I get it. Within the first 30 minutes, I get it. I get what your message is with this movie. And I was just like, I wanted it to be done. I didn't need to see anymore. I didn't need to hear more. Like, I get it. And I was just sick of it. And maybe part of it is I have gotten so sick of hearing about this in real life, and maybe I just didn't want to see it in my movie like this. I don't know. It's just a movie that I personally did not love. I'm not going to say this is a bad movie by any means. It is so beautifully done, so beautifully directed, so beautifully acted. Cate Blanchett absolutely deserves her Best Actress nomination. And if she wins, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. Personally, though, Michelle Yeoh is my gal. She gonna win. She better win. I want her to win. Personally, this movie for me was a little too much, a little pretentious, a little boring. Not a bad movie, like I said. I'll give this one like a 6 out of 10. I'm never watching this again, but I can acknowledge it's a really good movie. It just didn't work for me. Next up, guys, Women Talking, another movie nominated for a whole bunch of awards from producers of Moonlight and Nomadland. I actually did not know that. So yeah, guys, another movie that has got some award nominations, Oscar nominations. It's a movie I needed to see. This is about a movie. This is a movie about women coming together and talking. The title is the most accurate title probably ever, because that is literally what this movie is. These women get together and they have a talk about a situation that they're in and what they're going to do about it. That is the movie. There really is not much else to say about this. This is going to be another one of those movies where I kind of just talk about it in a technical sense, because there's really not much to talk about when it comes to a story. The story is women come together and they talk. Performances are all absolutely fantastic. Not a weak performance in the bunch at all. Writing is superb. Their dialogue, their conversation that they're having. You get the feel for everyone's feelings. You get the feel for everyone's, you know, wants and needs. You get the feel for the pros and the cons of the situation. I mean, you get everything. It's so beautifully handled with the script and the dialogue and such like that. Technical aspects are really great. Cinematography here is nothing flashy by any means, but it is beautiful cinematography. Beautiful, you know, sound editing, sound mixing, all that fun stuff. It's there. It's superb. The movie is superb. And like I said, it's just the most accurate movie title ever, because it is just women talking. The entire movie is just talking. And I love movies like that. So this is a movie that I found really great and engaging. I know some people are not going to personally love that about this movie. I really did enjoy it. I thought the conversation, I don't want to say, even though I think trailers gave it away, the description on IMDb maybe even has given it away. I don't want to say what they're talking about. But what they are talking about is important, and it's relevant to a lot of people in the world, and I think it's important. So I just really, really thought this movie was fantastic. Absolutely great in a lot of ways. I would say maybe it's a little bit tad too long with a movie just being about talking. It's easy to start feeling like you could have just listened to this instead of watching it. Similar to like what I talked about with Skinamarink, I think last two episodes, I don't know. Skinamarink is another movie like that, where I just feel like I could have listened to this and not even needed to watch it. But this is better than Skinamarink in the sense that I needed to watch this. This is a movie that needed to be watched. The performances are spectacular. There is a lot of motion going on here. And I loved it. It is a little long, like I said. Feels a little too long. There are some surprises, too, that I didn't expect necessarily. And I don't know if this is based on a true story. It feels like it was 100%. Actually, does it say? I think it's based on a book. That is a very blurry poster. Oh, it is. Inspired by true events. Okay, so it's inspired by true events. Yeah, it feels like it's a real thing. It feels like you were watching a documentary almost. And it really is just incredible to watch. But it feels great. It's not a feel-good movie. I mean, it is a feel-good movie, actually. There's a kitty cat outside my house. It doesn't have a color or anything. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go see if I can get the kitty cat. It's like black and orange, and it doesn't have a color or anything. Oh, okay. Maybe it went home. Oh. I'll let you come get it. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I was on Facebook today, and I joined a Greenville people group, and I saw in there, like, there's this just stray dog around town, and I'm just like, that's terrible. Like, I'll take it. Like, I don't want no stray animal. I love animals so much, so I see a stray dog or stray cat, and it kills me a little bit. Like, that poor thing, it probably just wants some food, a little bit of water. Oh, okay, let's continue, guys. Yeah, guys, this is a really good movie. Really strong movie. I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. It is a really great movie, guys. If you haven't checked this one out, this is one to check out for sure. And there's a picture of my dog. Well, it was my dog. That was another picture. I don't know why that happened. Moving on, guys, another documentary. I've watched a lot of documentaries this last week. We have Pennywise, the story of it. This is a documentary on the making of the original 80s two-part miniseries. Very, very interesting stuff in this. I like the original. I think it was it the 80s or 90s? I forget. I liked the original miniseries. I didn't love it, though. There's a lot of issues that I have with it. That was something very interesting that happened throughout this documentary, too, was the fact that these guys talk about how they wish they could have did this better. They wish that the spider looked better by the end of it. they wish that they had used Tim Curry a little bit more throughout the movie and such like that. Uh, all the things that I have issues with, they acknowledge. And basically, they couldn't because of budget, because of the studio, because of the fact that it was on TV, all these things. So that was really, really interesting to see in this documentary. It talks with some of the remaining members of the cast. I did not know how many of the original cast are dead. Particularly the I don't remember the name of the kid. The guy who played Bill. He was 27 when he hung himself. I had no clue about this. Apparently, he was just struggling to find work. He was in a movie, I think, with Bruce Willis or something like that. And he thought it was going to be amazing, and it ended up bombing and was not critically acclaimed. And according to his family, he was kind of miserable about that, and they think that's why he ended up hanging himself. And I think he was 27. I had no clue about that. I had no clue about any of the members, really, who had died. I think I knew about one person. So that was really interesting. I didn't know any much. There's not a lot of the actors that I knew from the original, so it was interesting kind of hearing from them. Only when I really knew Seth Green, Tim Curry, I know who that was. So it's really cool to see interviews from them. Just some very interesting behind the scenes kind of stuff that's really interesting. This is just the kind of thing, guys, that should be on a Blu-ray or DVD. Every single one of them. I just think it should be on there. And then, 20 years from now, then you make one like this too, where you have all the kid actors who are adults now, 20 years later. I love that kind of stuff. I really do. So this is the kind of stuff I really enjoy watching. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 too, guys. As far as a documentary goes, it's really interesting. A lot of insightful interviews, a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff. I love that kind of stuff. So definitely one you should check out if you haven't checked out, and if you're a fan of it. So, Luck, guys. Another Apple TV Plus anime movie that came out last year. Guys, I am going to be honest, this movie's not so great. Basically, this movie's about a girl who has bad luck, and she meets a talking cat who does have luck. And things go from there. This is so for kids, guys. So it's hard for me to say this movie's bad, but yeah, I think this movie's bad. It's okay. It's beautifully animated. The voice cast is fine. There are songs in it that are not catchy at all. I couldn't sing a single lick of any of the songs that they were singing in the movie. The story's kind of garbage. You've seen it before, in a sense. I mean, it's somewhat an original in the sense that this girl was unlucky and blah, 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 blah. The story's nothing spectacular. The script is nothing great. A lot of eye-rolling moments in this movie that you just expect and know to happen, and you just don't care. I don't have a lot to say about this movie, guys. It's for kids. Will your kids be entertained by this? Maybe. The main character is not that interesting, in my opinion. The cat is cool. The cat is, a side lead. Sure. I don't know if kids are going to be entertained by this. I really don't. I'll give this one a 4 out of 10. It's fine. Like I said, I think kids might enjoy it. I think they might even get bored by it, though. That's my biggest thing. This movie's just kind of boring. And I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's such a boring movie, guys. Don't check this out. It's on Apple TV Plus for free, if you have Apple TV Plus, but it's not worth it. Next up, guys, we have the movie House. This was a movie we watched for Film Club. And, how many movies do I have left? Oh, I have quite a few movies left. This might be the last one I talk about for today. I'm going to have to put out another video soon because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other movies I really want to talk about. So yeah, I also have some chicken cooking in the oven. So this might be the last one we talk about for today. Let me just look at something here. I can talk about that. Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, guys, this might be the last movie I talk about. I might do one more. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, guys, a movie we watched for Film Club. Category was inanimate objects, I think. A movie about inanimate objects, I think. And House is that movie. This movie is a Japanese movie, I believe from the 76, 78, something like that. It's from the 70s. Does not look like a 70s movie necessarily. Well, that's not true. It definitely looks like a 70s movie. There are practical effects in this movie, though, that make it not look like a 70s movie. They've held up quite well. A lot of these effects feel very practical, and I mean, that's part of it. It's great effects in this 70s movie. So basically the movie's about these girls. They go to one of the girls' aunt's house, and that house is crazy. It's alive, it comes alive, and it does creepy, scary stuff. There's actually some really great kind of like dark humor in this movie too. I was laughing quite a bit. We were laughing in our film group, it seemed like quite a bit. Yeah, it has the look of the 70s, but there's some really great practical effects. I think the production design is great. I think the set that they were using was great. That it looked kind of great. Definitely moments where you can tell it's green screen and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, they've held up. The movie's crazy. It's insane. It's hilarious. It's not the greatest movie ever, but I did find myself enjoying it in a kind of like a guilty pleasure kind of way. The girls in this movie will like someone's been missing for like 5 hours. Oh, it's fine. She's just outside. Well, did you go check? Like, these girls just kind of like talk away things. They have reasons for everything. And I found that very interesting. And it's really interesting how some of these girls die too. And then like some of the girls will be freaking out because they see something. And the girls are like, oh, you're so silly. You're just tired. You didn't see this. It's really funny how much they talk themselves out of these things. And it was a really insane movie. I actually really enjoyed it though, guys. It is a guilty pleasure. This is one I'll probably watch again. But it's not the greatest movie ever. It's a movie, all right. And I do also want to talk about, this is a foreign film. This is a movie you want to have subtitles on for. For people that freak out about that, get the fudge over it. Yes, you need to be in the right mood. Don't be tired while watching a movie like this. Don't have your phone out necessarily while watching this. But I do think foreign films are so important, and we should experience them. We should see them. There's some really great foreign films out there. This is one that, if you like a guilty pleasure kind of horror movie, this would be a good one to check out. Again, like I said, not the greatest movie in the world, but a really good guilty pleasure movie. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I would much rather watch this than Tar. Even though it's got the same score, I'd rather watch this than Tar. I will rewatch this one again. It's just so silly that it's hard to say it's an amazing movie. What are we at on time here? Oh, guys. All right, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. No, you know what? We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. We've been 30 minutes in. I'm going to try to film another video, maybe even today, and put it up within the next 2 days here. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies I want to talk about. And I'm going to be seeing even more movies, so, because, still in play. So, guys, that's the end of this episode. I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you're watching movies. I hope that you are drinking some beers, whatever you're drinking. I hope you are enjoying life, happy, healthy, all that fun stuff. It really does taste like McLike. It's a little different, but it tastes like McLike. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have yourself a great day. I'll be back very soon with another episode of Code Man Movies. Until then, guys, keep on watching those movies, all right? Have a good one.